My name is Randolyn, or for convenience sake, just Randy, and all introductions aside, welcome to my channel, Zero Waste, Zero Worries. So on this channel, I plan to talk about environmental stability, reducing your everyday waste, and ways to make decisions that are more environmentally conscious and that can get you to your goal of being environmentally sustainable. And while I make these videos, I want to pretty much aim them at college kids and the younger generation, because I find a lot of the times in the zero waste movement, content creators are already older adults and they have their own life and they don't live with their parents, and it makes it kind of hard when you're a college kid on your college campus, or you live at home with your parents and sometimes you don't have full autonomy over what is purchased that you are using, or you don't have full autonomy over your groceries and stuff like that. So what I plan to do with this channel is be more flexible with decisions in the zero waste movement that are more applicable to college kids or people who still live at home with their parents, so they're in high school, and just the younger generation who wants to be involved environmentally and be more sustainable, but they, have a couple of roadblocks in the way. And another thing that I want this channel to be able to represent is the process in which you become low impact or zero waste, because the process in which you become more sustainable is really rocky and you make a mistake every single day. I'm still making mistakes every single day. I can definitely have more improvement in my waste. But I feel also along the fact that a lot of people who are content creators in the zero waste movement are older, they therefore are more accustomed to the lifestyle and they're not making mistakes as much. And I do want to document the mistakes that I make on this channel. That way I myself can learn not to do that again, and also people who are watching me can know, well, maybe that wasn't the best approach to it, so she tried this other way and that worked for her, so I'm gonna do that. Sharing and sticking to the title of the video and answering the question, what is zero waste in the first place? One of my favorite definitions of zero waste comes from one of the largest influencers in the movement named Lauren Singer. And her definition is pretty easy to grasp, and it's just sending as little as possible to nothing to a landfill. And this is distinctly different from sending it to a recycling center or selling it to someone who's going to repurpose it, or even donating your old stuff and your products to Goodwill. I feel like a lot of times in the movement, people get really muddled in sending something to a recycling center. Is that zero waste? Yes, it's zero waste because you're not sending it to a landfill. A lot of influencers can almost make it seem like if you do anything with your products once their life is complete, then you aren't zero waste. Sending it to a landfill means that nothing is going to happen to it other than, sitting in the ground and rotting. If it can rot, if it's plastic, it can't rot. So, when you send it to a recycling center, something is done with it. When you send it to someone who's going to repurpose it, something is being done to it in its afterlife. And the same goes for donating your stuff to Goodwill. People are obviously going to be using it. So these three examples are still zero waste, even though a lot of people kind of make it seem like it's not zero waste. But recycling, even though you should be doing it less if you are involved in zero waste than more, it's still zero waste. And right now in the zero waste community, with a lot of the larger influencers, there's a whole debate over, are we calling this zero waste or are we calling it low impact? And some people have pretty much come to the terms that nobody can ever be completely zero waste. You're going to be putting something in a landfill at some point in your life, which is true. Nobody can be zero waste. But I think the term zero waste is something I identify more with because it's a goal that I'm always reaching to. I would love to not send anything to a landfill at all. And so the term zero waste for me is more of an end goal rather than something that I'm living now, because like I said, I'm not perfect. None of the influencers are, because it is so hard. Even when you are recycling stuff, sometimes that actually doesn't even end up being recycled because your facility can't recycle it, and so they throw it away. Therefore, then you aren't technically zero waste. However, I'm going to identify with the term zero waste more because it is the goal that I want to eventually reach. I know I'm confusing. I know you can't do it, but you know what I mean. And to answer another question, which is, why am I even participating in the zero waste movement? And although the answer to this is kind of lengthy, it all boils down to the fact that I feel a moral and ethical obligation to do so. I personally feel that if I'm going to be living on this planet and taking resources from this planet, that I need to be giving back to the planet. And if I can't physically give back to the planet, like in the form of composting where you are actually giving something back to the planet, if I can't always be doing that, then I should be making more conscious decisions about the products that I'm consuming and just support more ethical companies who provide you products without plastic packaging. And yeah. Now, humans are kind of selfish, and I feel like a lot of the times big companies can throw caution to the wayside and they just package all of their products in plastic without thinking about how it's going to be harming marine life or, you know, humans themselves, because plastic pollution doesn't just harm marine life, it harms all living things in the environment. It's kind of crazy to think about the amount of packaging that surrounds us everywhere. You know, water bottles, if you like chip bags. A lot of the times I even see like apples in a plastic package, which doesn't make any sense because apples have their own natural packaging, and I really don't understand why companies feel the need to like package an orange or a zucchini or something that has natural packaging. It's a pet peeve. I really hate it. Anyway, a big thing that the zero waste movement targets is reducing packaging and reducing things that we are throwing away in general. So just a couple of like zero waste swaps to, you know, get the full understanding of what zero waste is. A lot of us use straws that are metal or aluminum instead of a regular plastic straw because those aren't even recyclable. If you didn't know, no plastic straw can be recyclable because it has a wax coating. And straw dilemma aside, there's also other swaps we do, like reusable bags instead of plastic bags, and a metal lunch container instead of a plastic lunch container. There's just so many swaps that you can do. It's really endless, but this is what zero waste is targeting, is all of those unnecessary packaging things that we don't even think about in our day-to-day lives, but we dispose of them most of the time in a regular trash can and we don't even recycle it. I know this video is getting messy, but back to kind of a central point of the video, which is the responsibility that we have as inhabitants of this planet to be more environmentally conscious. I think almost everybody kind of understands that global warming isn't a hoax, climate change, I should say. It's not a hoax, it's scientific facts. Please don't argue with me. I keep getting sidetracked, but I have a cat. I'm gonna wrap this video up because I made total mess, and I promise I will not be like this in future videos. But the reason I am here on this channel is to provide people with better options if they want to be able to make those changes. To wrap this video up, definition of zero waste: sending as little as possible to a landfill. The purpose of this channel: to provide people with more options than what they currently have that are better for the environment. Let's see. I meant to put this in the video somewhere because I think it's really important. If you don't fully understand and grasp the concept of the plastic pollution that is currently, you know, in circulation in the world, the World Economic Forum, I believe, did a study and found that by 2050 we're going to have more plastic in the ocean than fish. Let that sink in. That's pretty dramatic. So anyway, yeah, don't consume plastic, and yeah, I will be back at a later time.